Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back. So today we are going to give you guys the review on our Gretsch bass here. So this is a model G2220 Electromatic Junior Jet Bass 2 short scale bass with a walnut fingerboard, a basswood body, maple neck, sealed tuners, yay! Okay, we've got some mini humbuckers by Gretsch on this thing. Three-way toggle switch, of course, so you've got bridge, both, and the neck. Now, the amp I'm using, of course, is a Hartkey HD25, so a 25 watt amp, and that's the amp I bought with it. And we'll talk about that in another video some more, but today it's about the bass. Now, it is right-handed, so I didn't flip the video. It's actually right-handed. It's because to get a left-handed bass, I would have to actually order one in from the States by Ibanez, because for some reason Ibanez won't supply that bass to Long McQuade, even though they are an Ibanez dealer, which is kind of weird. And they're kind of trying to figure that one out themselves too. So my only other option for short scale lefty was to go through Gibson. I'm not paying that kind of money. You know, I mean, for how often I'm even going to play bass, even in a music video, it's kind of like, no. So I thought, well, I do play right-handed guitar decently. You know, I am a lefty guitar player by nature, of course. But I've been training myself for years for right-handed, and it is a lot harder to go the other direction. It can be done, but it is a lot harder. So I thought, you know what, let's try bass out. So I played with a bunch of basses at Long McQuade, mostly right-handed ones, and they had one left-handed Fender long scale there. And it's like, well, it's a lot more money, which didn't bother me at all. It's the simple fact that the fret spacing is a lot wider on a long scale. And even though my buddy says, I mean, you can just go, you know, you don't have to necessarily, you know, but if you're going to learn basically the chromatic scale, right, what there is of it with 4 strings, you do have to have a finger spread, right, and even that is very challenging. For me with bass, and it's going to take a lot of stretching for sure, because I don't have long fingers. I think bass is great for people with longer fingers, but us short little guys, you know, we gotta kind of cheat a little bit, which is not a big deal. We can do that. So my buddy who is a bass player said, you know, don't worry so much about the whole stretching thing so much. You know, do it, yes, but don't be, you know, spending your entire life what's left, you know, to just try and do a chromatic scale. But regardless of that fact, I thought I also have a control issue when it comes to a left-handed bass, right? So on a right-handed bass, I can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and I can control this, but doing it left-handed, I don't have the control to actually slow down enough, because I'm so used to being, especially when I'm playing like rock music and stuff on guitar. And finger picking I do pretty good with left-handed. You know, I've got control there, but I don't have control over just 2 fingers without going mental left-handed. So going right-handed, I have more control. Doing that slap bass thing though, I'm gonna have a little bit of a challenge for that one, because I can do slap easy on lefty. But I do have the option too, where I can do this. Try and sit here and just I'm a little too quick, right? Restringing this thing would be like out of the question without replacing the entire nut. I'm not going to go that far, and besides which, it throws the controls in the wrong place on me, which I've had issues with my Flying V when I was a kid. So that's why my Flying V is back to being right-handed, because it's just kind of like, that was an issue. I love my Flying V, but I'm going to play it right-handed from this point on. And it doesn't hurt to be able to play both ways. It is challenging. I still can't believe how many people, when I come across them and I'm talking to them, especially in the music store, you know, and I tell them, you know, I can play both ways, you know, and they're like, wow. It's like, that's cool. I'm like, oh, it's not easy, but can be done, you know. But for me to get the control I need for playing bass, I have to do it right-handed. So, anyways, so just a little quickie once again. Humbuckers, of course, Gretschers, Basswood body, maple neck, Walnut fingerboard, sealed tuners. That's our basics. 3-way switch, one master volume, 1 tone control. Now a bass is a bass. I mean, it's just ball, 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 ball. So middle position and neck. I don't know if you can hear it, but something's vibrating in here, like. That's the tiles on the ceiling. You get a lot of thud out of this thing on the neck. Teach myself how to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, a little bit of it, and I thought I should download the music for this and then I can actually learn the whole song. No, I'm not playing it for you guys. Forget it. We'll play rock. We're not going to play Twinkle, Twinkle. But I have to learn how to play regardless. Anyways, so I've got the Hartkey HD25 amp I bought for this too, bass amp, and works great actually. I'm kind of liking it. In one side of the fence I really didn't need an amp because I can just go through the PA, but on the other side of the fence I kind of wanted the amp just so I could just not have to sit here and run my computer system to get into my DAW in order to play through my speakers. So I thought, well, you know what, an amp won't hurt. Now, suitability for this guitar, I think great for beginners. You know, it's not a big guitar, technically. So great for beginners, great for intermediate players. As far as pros goes, I don't know. Some people are just, you know, a little bit on the retentive side, if you know what I mean, and they'd rather have like a $4,000 bass for a professional player, but I think even pros would enjoy something like this, especially in the short scale. And if they are a short scale player already, they probably appreciate it too. Now, the fretwork on this thing is amazing, right? There's no problems. If it's buzzing, it's me, right? I know I'm going to have a lot of buzzed issues for a while. It is comfy. It's not an overly huge body. Like, it's an average size body. It's actually the shape of a Les Paul, but it's an average size for a Les Paul sized body, so it's not overly big. Actually, I'm looking at my Les Pauls on the wall here, and I'm kind of like, yeah, it's pretty close. You know, actually really close to the same shape. Anyways, shh, don't tell Gibson. Anyhow, it's nice. I do like it. The adjustable saddles are great. I've had to do nothing to this thing other than tune it up, right? That's all I've had to do to it since I brought it home. The strings on this thing for factory strings are fantastic, which is an extreme rarity when you buy a new guitar. Usually the strings are like dead or garbage or whatever. They just throw on the cheapest pile of junk to say, hey, we gave you strings. But these are great. They're nice and clean. They hold well. There's nothing wrong with these strings. And I was going to get extra strings for it, but then I got to talking to the manager, and we both kind of agreed that, you know, for how often I'm going to play this thing, even learning it, but even playing it, period, what I'm going to use it for, I should easily get a year, maybe even 2 years out of a set of strings, which turned out to be a benefit too, because as per usual, they were out of stock on short scale strings anyways. So there must be a lot of short scale players in North Bay for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know, but every time I seem to go in there looking for short scale bass strings, it's kind of like, they're kind of like out. It's like, yeah, they sell quick. Now, you can find all kinds of long scale strings, but short scales, yeah, they just, somebody's scooping them. But anyway, when I need them, I'll have to order a set, I guess, you know. But I do like the bass. I think it's fantastic. This thing sells for like 380 bucks Canadian. So $379.99. Let's just round it to $380 plus tax. That I think is a really good price for this thing. Mine came with a couple little finish blems, just minor stuff, but it's there. And I thought, okay, let's try. Can you give me a better price? Because there's a couple blems here, you know, like, and they did. And it's like, sweet, you know. So I didn't have to pay full retail. So I saved a few bucks, which helped to balance out the difference because I also had to buy an amp anyways while I was there. So it's kind of like, well, I'm buying the guitar, I'm buying the amp, I want a deal. Okay, so I got a definite deal, of course, on the guitar. But the blems are like minor. Like I don't even know if you're going to even see them on here or not. I don't know how close I can get to the camera, but it's just along the top edge. There's like, I think maybe 3 total, but the worst one is actually right here where my finger is. That's the worst one. So I'm a little OCD, okay? But I like it. Even with the glossy finish on the neck, it's not sticky to me. But then again, I don't sweat when I play anyhow, so I have that advantage where I can work with a gloss neck or a smoothed out neck, it doesn't matter. I do have a lot more control, but if I want to, I can also flip it like this. Playing with 2 fingers though, like just, you know, it's interesting. I tried playing with a pick, didn't go well, so we're not going to bother with picks. But we are going to try as hard as possible to stay right-handed with this thing. So I think if you want an overall, I'm not going to pick on the blems, by the way, because I was looking at other Gretsch models like this at the store because they had a few of them, and so I'm not going to pick on the blem and the finish as part of my review on this. You know, I'm just letting you know that yes, I got a couple blems, yes, I got a better deal than retail, and that was fantastic. But you know, the other ones, there were no blems on the finishes anywhere, and they were just fine. You know, and so anyway, I wanted black, and they only have the one. So hey. I gotta get it, you know what I mean? So, I would say I would probably rate this thing, I would say it a 4.5 out of 5. The tuning stability is really good. This thing absolutely does not buzz at all unless I'm doing it myself because I suck at playing bass right now. I mean, I can get some really clean notes, you know, not a problem. So there's nothing wrong with the fretwork on this thing. It's great. I like how they've used walnut instead of your typical rosewood. Oh, and there's, by the way, there's no razor blade burrs anywhere. The fretwork is just really amazing everywhere on this thing. And I did check the others, and they were also fantastic. So Gretsch does a really good job, which is kind of cool because Fender actually owns Gretsch. Don't know if you knew that, but Fender does own Gretsch, and but I've had Gretsch electrics before, and I still want the white Falcon if I can ever find, like, you know, almost $6 grand to buy the Falcon. It's the only guitar in the world that I would ever spend more than $2,500 on. It's just, there's something about that white Falcon, and yes, it's a lefty, but left or right-handed, it's the same price. I like this guitar. So that's where I'm at with my rating. I think that's really fair, and I think it's priced well overall too, because A, it is a Gretsch, it is a quality built instrument, so no problem there. You know, you can compare this to the Fender Bronco that comes in at under 300 bucks, and I mean, it's night and day. you know, this thing is far superior. You know, better machine heads on it. It actually has weight to it. Like, it's not a lightweight little tiny body. The Broncos are more made, I think, for kids in a short scale, or a very short adult, I guess, because they do feel a lot smaller, right? And the spacing is also a little tighter together on the Fender Bronco, which in some ways maybe I should have gone for that one, but on the other side of the fence, the body was a little bit on the small side for me. You know, so I kind of thought, well, I want a quality instrument. I don't mind spending almost twice the amount of money to get something good, right? And there was nothing wrong with the fretwork either on the Bronco. It was fine. But this is just so much more what I would buy for me. And I would spend, even though it's right-handed, I would spend upwards to $600 on a bass. You know, just because I would want that higher quality grade in there. You know, and some people say $600 doesn't sound like a lot of money. Well, it kind of can be, and it kind of is. You know, but it's, you know, you really do, a lot of times you do tend to get what you pay for. But there are times when you can spend less and get more for your money too, which is another thing even with instruments. But I kind of like this either way because I like the color better. I like the thickness of the body. It's a nice thick body compared to the Bronco. You know, I might do a review on the Bronco either way down the road. If I can rent one, maybe I'll do a review on one. I certainly would not personally for me buy one because it's just not my thing, right? And I'm very, very picky when it comes to tuners, so I'm kind of glad this actually has sealed tuners. That's great. But anyways, so as for the rest of it, that's pretty much about where we're at with this one. So if you're interested in this particular bass, they do have other color options, okay? Check the link below in the description for the Long McQuaid website if you're in Canada. But even if you're not, check it anyways, and you'll see all the full specs of this thing in the list as well, so you get an idea of what you're looking at. And then look at other YouTube videos of guys who can obviously play way better than I can right now at this point. And figure your opinion from there for yourself. This is something that you would like to have. I don't regret the purchase. I think it's great. And I am picking it up fairly quickly, just by even just messing around here and there, you know. And I'm playing along to different drum beats as well in Logic, and you know, trying to get a feel for how I'm supposed to be playing the bass with the drum beat and all that sort of thing. And you know, so it's slowly, it's a work in progress. Maybe once in a while we'll give you an update and I'll show you how much better I'm getting here and there every so often, you know, type of thing. Progress. But in the meantime, thanks so much for watching, and we'll definitely catch you on the next one. See ya.